In the vast emptiness of space aboard the Starship Explorer, a lone human woman named Kate Miller stood at the observation deck, her eyes fixed on the swirling colors of the nebula outside. She was the last human on the diplomatic mission after a sudden attack had forced the others to evacuate. Kate had stayed behind to ensure critical data reached Earth. The ship had been damaged and was now drifting into the territory of the Vrexian Empire, a species known for their superior strength and intimidating height, standing nearly 9 feet tall with scaled skin and 4 arms. They considered themselves the apex predators of the galaxy. Kate knew the Vrexians had never encountered humans before. Earth was a newly discovered planet in their eyes, and most species in the galaxy believed humans to be physically weak but intelligent. As the ship drifted deeper into Vrexian space, a massive warship appeared, its metallic surface reflecting the light of nearby stars. Kate felt her heart race, but remained calm. She had trained for first contact scenarios. A transmission came through the ship's communication system. "We are boarding your vessel. Prepare to be collected for study," said a deep voice. Kate straightened her uniform and waited by the airlock. She was 5'6", with brown hair tied back in a practical bun. Though average in appearance, she had served as a Special Forces operative before joining the Diplomatic Corps, a fact not mentioned in her official records. The airlock hissed open, revealing 3 towering Vrexian females, their scaled skin shimmering with iridescent patterns, each equipped with battle armor and weapons. They looked at Kate with surprise, clearly expecting a larger crew. Commander Zyrax of the Vrexian Empire. "Identify yourself, tiny creature," said the leader, her forearms crossed in a display of authority. Kate smiled. Kate Miller of Earth, last remaining crew member of this vessel." The Vrexians exchanged looks of confusion. "You operate this vessel alone?" asked Zyrax currently. "Yes, the others evacuated after we were attacked," Kate replied, keeping her voice steady. "Impossible," said another Vrexian named Nexra, who circled Kate, examining her with glowing yellow eyes. "No species your size could operate a vessel of this magnitude alone. You must be hiding your warriors." Kate shook her head. "No warriors, just Mesirax." Made a sound that might have been laughter. "The gravity on this ship is set quite low. You will find our ship less comfortable. We will take you to our Empress. She collects interesting specimens from primitive worlds." Kate knew resisting would be unwise, so she allowed them to escort her onto their vessel as predicted. The gravity was significantly higher, making each step feel like walking through thick mud. The Vrexians watched, expecting her to collapse under the gravity. But Kate adjusted her breathing and posture techniques she'd learned during extreme environment training while her muscles strained. She showed no outward signs of difficulty. "Fascinating," said Zyrax. "You adapt quickly for such a fragile being." The Vrexian ship was massive, with high ceilings and corridors designed for beings much larger than humans. Kate was brought to what appeared to be a containment area, where various alien species were kept in transparent cells for observation. Most were large, imposing creatures, from worlds with similar gravity to the Vrexian homeworld. Kate was the smallest by far. "You will remain here until we reach the Imperial Palace," said Zyrax. "The Empress will be intrigued by your species' apparent intelligence despite your physical limitations." After the Vrexians left, Kate examined her cell. It was designed for creatures much stronger than what they believed humans to be. The force field was calibrated for beings that could exert pressure at least 5 times what the Vrexians thought a human could generate. Kate smiled to herself. This was an advantage. Hours passed as Kate gathered information about the ship and its systems by observing the guards and listening to conversations. Her translator implant working perfectly, despite the Vrexians believing their language was unknown to her. She learned that the ship was heading toward a nearby mining colony to collect resources before returning to the Vrexian homeworld. This would be her only chance to escape and recover the data from her ship. That night, when the ship entered orbit around the mining planet, most of the crew departed, leaving. Only a skeleton crew aboard. Kate decided it was time to act. The guard patrolling the containment area was a younger Vrexian named Tella, who seemed curious about the human. "Your species is so small," said Tella. "How do you survive on your world?" Kate smiled. "We adapt. We may not be the strongest, but we are very determined." Tella moved closer to the force field, clearly fascinated by the tiny alien prisoner on Earth we face. "Many challenges," Kate explained. Our world has varying gravity regions, diverse climates, and thousands of different predators we had to become adaptable to survive. Tella tilted her head in curiosity. How many Vrexians would it take to defeat one of your Earth predators? Kate thought for a moment, considering her answer carefully. It depends. On the predator, some are small but deadly. Others are massive with incredible strength. Tell me about the strongest, Kate said, trying to learn more about Vrexian combat capabilities. Tella straightened with pride. The Empress herself once defeated a Raxer beast with only 2 arms. The other 2 were bound to demonstrate superiority. The creature was twice her size with razor claws and venomous spines. Kate nodded, impressed. That is remarkable strength indeed. Your people are truly powerful. The flattery worked as Tella moved even closer to the force field. Her guard lowering. Slightly more Vrexians die in training than in actual combat. Our strength is our pride. Kate had gathered enough information. Now she just needed the right moment to act. When a sudden alarm blared through the ship, Kate saw her opportunity. What's happening? Asked Kate. Intruders at the mining colony, Tella replied. All security personnel to transport Bayaz. Tella turned to leave. Kate pushed against the force field with all her strength. The Vrexians had underestimated human capability and the field shimmered, then failed as it wasn't calibrated for her actual strength. Tella turned back in shock, but before she could react, Kate had already closed the distance between them, using the Vrexian's surprise to her advantage. She executed a precise strike to a nerve cluster at the base of Tella's neck, a weakness she'd observed in Vrexian physiology. The much larger alien crumpled to the floor unconscious but unharmed. Kate quickly took the guard's access card and weapon. Moving through the ship was challenging in the heavy gravity, but Kate had trained in high-gravity environments on Earth. Special Forces operatives underwent extensive conditioning to function in various planetary conditions. Kate had spent months in the Jupiter simulation chamber, where gravity was 3 times that of Earth. She made her way through the corridors, staying close to the walls and hiding whenever she heard Vrexians approaching the ship. Was enormous, making her feel like a child sneaking through an adult world. Kate needed to reach the command center, where she could access the ship's systems and communications to contact her vessel on Earth. But first, she needed to understand the layout. She found a computer terminal in an empty maintenance room and used Tella's access card to log in. The Vrexian language appeared on screen, but Kate's translator implant allowed her to understand it. She pulled up the ship's schematics, memorizing the route to the command center. The terminal also showed that most of the crew had indeed transported to the mining colony to deal with some kind of disturbance. Only a skeleton crew remained aboard, mainly engineers and a few security personnel. Kate moved carefully through the massive corridors, each step requiring significant effort in the heavy gravity. Sweat beaded on her forehead, but she maintained her focus. Her special forces training kicking in. Ahead she heard voices, 2 Vrexian engineers, discussing the mining colony situation. The miners claim humans attacked the facility, said one engineer. But how could humans reach this sector? The other engineer shrugged. Probably mistaken identity. No human vessel could match our warships, and their bodies would collapse under our gravity. Kate waited until they passed, then continued toward the command center. As she turned a corner, she came face to face with a Vrexian security officer. The alien towered over her, eyes widening in surprise. The prisoner. The Vrexian reached for her weapon, but Kate was faster, firing Tella's stun weapon. The Vrexian fell to the floor with a heavy thud. Kate dragged the unconscious officer into a nearby storage room. No small feat given the alien size and the heavy gravity. She was breathing hard now, her muscles burning with exertion, checking the officer's equipment. Kate found a communication device, which would prove useful. She continued toward the command center, moving more cautiously now after navigating several more corridors and climbing up access ladders designed for beings twice her size. Kate finally reached the command center doorway. She could hear 2 Vrexians inside discussing the mining colony situation. Kate took a deep breath and pressed Tella's access card against the door panel. It slid open with a soft hiss. The 2 Vrexian officers turned in shock as Kate entered. Impossible, one exclaimed. How did you escape? Kate didn't waste time talking. She used the Vrexian weapon to stun one officer, while engaging the other in hand-to-hand combat. Despite the alien's superior strength, Kate used her training and the Vrexians' overconfidence against her moving inside the reach of those 4 powerful arms and targeting weak points. The Vrexian fell, back surprised by the human speed and precision, especially in high-gravity combat. "You are not what you appear to be," said the officer. "No, we're not," Kate replied before delivering a precise strike to the Vrexian's pressure point, rendering her unconscious. With both officers subdued, Kate secured them with restraints she found at a security station, then turned to the command console. It was designed for beings much larger, but Kate could reach the controls if she stretched. The console was complex with symbols and indicators unfamiliar to her, but Kate's translator implant helped decipher the basics she needed to send a transmission to her ship and prevent the Vrexians from stopping her. First, she locked down the command center, sealing the doors. Then she accessed the communication system, sending a transmission to her drifting vessel. She initiated its automated docking sequence, bringing it alongside the Vrexian warship. Next, Kate accessed the security systems to monitor the Vrexian crew movements. Most were still at the mining colony, but a few remained on board the ship. She needed to act quickly. Kate accessed the ship's engines, reducing power to create a temporary diversion. The lights dimmed and backup systems activated, causing confusion. Among the remaining crew, she watched on the monitors as engineers rushed to check the engines, giving her time to work. Kate then accessed the docking controls, preparing for her ship's arrival, while simultaneously downloading Vrexian data that would be valuable to Earth, information about their technology, weapons, and star charts. The Vrexian computer system was surprisingly unprotected against her intrusion. They had never considered that a species they deemed inferior would be able to access their technology, let alone understand it. Kate's ship. The explorer was approaching the Vrexian vessel on the monitor. She could see its damaged hull moving alongside the massive warship. She initiated docking procedures, securing an airlock connection between the two ships. Just as Kate prepared to leave the command center, she heard an alert on the communication system. Vrexians were returning from the mining colony, Commander Xerax among them. Kate quickly reviewed her options. She could try to reach her ship before they returned, or stand her ground and negotiate from a position of strength. She chose the latter, accessing the Vrexian weapon systems and disabling them temporarily. She then opened a ship-wide communication channel. "Attention, Vrexian vessel. This is Kate Miller of Earth. I have control of your command center and weapon systems. I mean you no harm, but will defend myself if necessary." She watched on the monitor as the returning Vrexians' transport shuttle docked. Commander Xerax stepped out, looking furious, flanked by 4 armed guards. They headed directly toward the command center. Kate prepared herself for confrontation. She had disabled the door locks, knowing they would override them eventually. She positioned herself behind the command console, using it as a barrier. The doors slid open and Commander Xerax entered with her guards' weapons raised. "The tiny human has defeated 2 warriors," Xerax said in disbelief. "How is this possible?" "Humans are full of surprises," Kate replied. "We may look small, but we evolved on a world that challenged us at every turn, making us adaptable and stronger than we appear." Xerax studied Kate with new interest. "It seems we have misjudged. Your species, the Empress, will be even more intrigued now." "I need to return to my ship," said Kate. "The data I carry is vital to my people. What will stop us from simply taking you and your ship?" asked Xerax. Kate smiled, revealing the command console behind her. "I have accessed your ship systems. Your weapons are temporarily offline, and I've sent a message to Earth with your coordinates. If I don't return safely, a diplomatic fleet will be dispatched." This was a bluff. Earth had no fleet capable of reaching this sector. But the Vrexians had no way of knowing that. Xerax looked at the console. Then back at Kate. The Vrexian commander did something unexpected. She lowered her weapons and signaled the guards to do the same. "You have earned respect." Human said, "Xerax, I propose an alternative. We will escort you back to your territory and open proper diplomatic channels with your people. The Vrexian Empire values strength and cunning. You have demonstrated both." Kate considered the offer, knowing that peaceful contact was always preferable to conflict. "I accept your proposal, Commander, on behalf of Earth." Xerax approached the console, examining the changes Kate had made to their systems. "Impressive. You understood our technology quickly." "I adapted," Kate replied. "Your systems are different, but the principles are similar to our." Xerax gestured to one of her guards. "Bring the human." Some water and nutrition. She must be exhausted from exertion in our gravity. Kate accepted the offering gratefully. Her muscles were indeed burning from the strain of moving in the heavy gravity. "Tell me about Earth," said Xerax as her guards helped the unconscious officers. Kate described Earth, its varying environments, diverse ecosystems, and the history of human development, emphasizing their adaptability and resilience. "Fascinating," said Xerax. "Most species evolved to dominate a specific environment. Yours adapted to thrive in many different ones." "A rare evolutionary path," Kate nodded. "We had to adapt or perish. Our planet challenged us constantly." "And your physical capabilities?" Xerax asked. "How did you overcome my officers in our gravity?" Kate explained that humans had developed specialized training to function in various gravitational conditions. Earth's special forces, in particular, underwent extensive conditioning. "We may not match your natural strength, but we compensate with technique, speed, and leverage," Kate said. "Plus, you underestimated me, which gave me an advantage." Xerax made a sound that Kate recognized as laughter, a mistake we won't make again. Over the next few hours, Kate and Xerax discussed terms for her return to Earth-controlled space. The Vrexian commander was surprisingly reasonable once she recognized Kate as a worthy opponent, rather than an inferior species. Kate learned that the Vrexian Empire spanned dozens of star systems and had encountered many other species, but none quite like humans. Most species evolved to dominate their specific environments, becoming specialized, while humans had taken a different evolutionary path, becoming adaptable generalists. The Vrexians valued strength above all else, which initially led them to dismiss humans based on physical appearance. But Kate's demonstration of human capabilities had changed Xerax's perspective. "I will personally escort you back to your territory," said Xerax. "The Empress will want a full report on your species, and I believe an alliance may be beneficial to both our peoples." While the Vrexian engineers repaired Kate's ship, Kate shared information about Earth and human culture, careful not to reveal strategic weaknesses while emphasizing potential benefits of cooperation. Xerax, in turn, shared information about the Vrexian Empire and other species in the sector, knowledge that would be invaluable to Earth as humans expanded into space. "What about the mining colony?" Kate asked. "What happened there?" Xerax explained that another alien species, the Thoraxians, had attacked the colony. Thoraxians were longtime rivals of the Vrexians, competing for resources and territory. "We believed it might be humans at first," Xerax admitted, "since your ship was detected in this sector, but the attack pattern was clearly Thoraxian." The repairs to Kate's ship took 2 days, during which she remained aboard the Vrexian vessel. She used the time to learn more about Vrexian culture and technology. While sharing human knowledge in return, she discovered that despite their intimidating appearance and warrior culture, the Vrexians had a complex society with rich traditions, art, and philosophy. Their four-armed physiology had led to unique musical instruments and art forms, impossible for humans to replicate. Kate demonstrated human music and art through files stored on her personal device. The Vrexians were particularly fascinated by human dancing, something their physiology made difficult. In turn, Xerax showed Kate Vrexian cultural achievements, including spectacular four-armed orchestral performances and three-dimensional art that shifted depending on the viewer's perspective. On the 3rd day, as Kate's ship neared completion, a priority transmission came through from the Vrexian homeworld. "The Empress wishes to speak with the human," said Xerax, looking concerned. Kate followed Xerax to the communication chamber, a large room with a holographic projection system in the center. The air shimmered and the image of the Vrexian Empress appeared. She was larger than Xerax, with elaborate scale patterns and ceremonial armors. "Oh, this is the human who infiltrated one of my warships," said the Empress. Her voice deep and resonant. Kate bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I am Kate Miller of Earth." The Empress studied Kate with glowing eyes. "I have reviewed Commander Xerax's reports of your capabilities, impressive for a species of your size." The Empress turned to Xerax. "You were bringing this human back to her territory." "Yes, Empress," Xerax replied. "I believe diplomatic relations would be beneficial." The Empress made a dismissive gesture. "I have decided the human will be brought to the Imperial Palace instead. We must study this species further before allowing them to return with knowledge of our empire." Kate felt her heart sink, but maintained her composure. "Your Majesty, with respect, Earth already knows of my location and mission." If I don't return, they will send others to investigate. The Empress laughed, a booming sound that filled the chamber. Your primitive species barely has interstellar capability. You pose no threat to the Vrexian Empire. Kate looked at Xyrax, who seemed uncomfortable with the Empress' decision. Commander Xyrax gave her word that I would be returned safely. Kate said addressing the Empress directly in Vrexian culture is a commander's word, not binding. The Empress narrowed her eyes. You know our ways. Humani have learned much during my stay, Kate replied. There was a long silence as the Empress considered. Then she spoke. Honor is the foundation of Vrexian society. If Xyrax gave her word, then it must be kept. However, you will not leave without a Vrexian ambassador accompanying you. We will establish diplomatic relations with your Earth. But on our terms, Kate nodded, understanding that this was the best outcome possible under the circumstances. I accept these terms, Your Majesty. The communication ended and Xyrax turned to Kate. That was unexpected. The Empress rarely changes her mind. Your culture values honor, Kate said. I counted on that. Xyrax made that laughing sound again. You continue to surprise me, human. The final repairs to Kate's ship were completed and a small Vrexian vessel was prepared to accompany her back to Earth Space Nexra. The Vrexian who had first examined Kate was appointed as ambassador before departing. Kate was invited to a ceremonial meal with Xyrax and her senior officers. The gravity in the dining hall was slightly reduced out of consideration for Kate, though still heavier than Earth normal. The meal consisted of various alien foods, some palatable to humans, others not. Kate politely tried everything she could safely consume while declining those her scanner indicated were toxic to human physiology. During the meal, Xyrax presented Kate with a Vrexian battle emblem. You fought with honor and wisdom, said the commander. This marks you as respected among our kind. It is rarely given to non-Vrexians. Kate accepted the emblem with a bow. I am honored, Commander. I will treasure this as a symbol of friendship between our peoples. The next morning, Kate prepared to board her repaired ship, the Explorer. She had grown accustomed to the heavier gravity over the past days, though. Her muscles still ached with the constant effort. Xyrax accompanied her to the airlock Nexra, and a small diplomatic team waited nearby, ready to board their vessel. Our ships will escort you to the edge of Vrexian space, said Xyrax. From there, you can navigate to Earth-controlled territory. Kate nodded. The data I collected about the sector will help me chart a course. Xyrax hesitated, then spoke in a lower tone. The Empress is interested in Earth primarily as a potential military asset. Our scouts have observed your conflicts and see potential in human adaptability. Be cautious in negotiations. Kate understood the warning. The Vrexian commander had developed a respect for her that extended to concern for her species. Thank you for the warning. I will ensure our diplomats are prepared. As Kate boarded her ship, she felt a mix of relief and anticipation. The mission had taken an unexpected turn but had ultimately succeeded beyond expectations. She had survived first contact with a powerful alien species, secured valuable data for Earth, and established diplomatic relations. The Explorer separated from the Vrexian warship, its engines once again fully functional. Kate sat at the command console, plotting a course for Earth as the Vrexian diplomatic vessel moved alongside her. During the journey home, Kate had time to reflect on her experience with the Vrexians. They were formidable and proud, but not unreasonable. Their respect was earned through strength and honor, values that humans could understand. She also spent time with Nexra and the Vrexian diplomatic team, teaching them about Earth culture and preparing them for what they would encounter. They were particularly concerned about Earth's lower gravity, and Kate assured them that accommodations would be made. Nexra was fascinated by human history. How did your species progress so quickly? Despite your physical limitations, she asked. Kate explained how human innovation often arose from necessity. Our limitations forced us to find creative solutions. We couldn't outrun predators, so we developed weapons. We couldn't fly, so we built aircraft. We couldn't survive in space, so we engineered spacecraft. This adaptability impressed the Vrexians, whose evolutionary path had favored physical development over technological innovation, until relatively recently. After 2 weeks of travel, they reached the edge of Earth-controlled space. Kate sent a transmission to the nearest outpost, identifying herself and explaining the diplomatic situation. The response was immediate and chaotic. Earth's authorities had believed her lost when the Explorer disappeared, They were not prepared for her return with alien ambassadors. Kate spent hours in communication with Earth officials explaining the situation and emphasizing the importance of receiving the Rexian delegation with appropriate respect and caution. Eventually, arrangements were made. The Rexians would be welcomed at Earth's orbital diplomatic station where gravity could be adjusted to comfortable levels for both species. As the explorer approached Earth, Kate felt a surge of emotion at seeing her home planet again. The blue-green sphere growing larger in her view screen, she had been gone much longer than planned and the mission had taken an unexpected turn. But she was returning with far more than anyone could have anticipated. The orbital diplomatic station came into view, a large rotating structure designed to accommodate various species with different environmental needs. Kate docked the Explorer, while the Phyrexian vessel connected to a specially reinforced section. A delegation of Earth officials waited at the airlock, their faces showing a mixture of relief at Kate's return and apprehension about the aliens accompanying her. Kate stepped through first, greeting her superiors, then introduced Nexra and the Rexian diplomatic team. The humans stared up at the towering four-armed aliens with undisguised awe. The gravity in this section had been increased to a compromise level comfortable for both species, though Kate could see the Rexians still found it somewhat light, while the humans struggled slightly with the increased weight. Ambassador Nexra. This is Director Linda Walsh of Earth's Diplomatic Corps. Kate said. Walsh stepped forward impressively, maintaining her composure. Welcome to Earthspace, Ambassador. We are honored by your presence. Nexra bowed slightly. Commander Xerax and Empress Exelara send their greetings and express interest in formal relations between our peoples. The initial meeting was brief, allowing the Rexians to settle into their quarters, which had been hastily modified to accommodate their size and gravitational preferences. Kate was immediately taken to a debriefing with Earth's highest military and scientific officials. They were astonished by her account of Rexian capabilities and the data she had managed to collect. You mean to tell me you escaped from a cell, overcame multiple aliens each with 4 arms and twice your size in heavy gravity, then took control of their ship, said General Howard, clearly skeptically. Yes, Sir. Kate replied simply. I utilized my special forces training and the Vrexians' underestimation of human capabilities. The science team was particularly interested in the technological data. Kate had gathered their ship's propulsion systems are centuries ahead of ours, said Dr. Clara Reynolds. Studying the schematics and their material science is remarkable. Over the following days, Kate served as intermediary between the human and Vrexian delegations, helping each side understand the other's customs and expectations. It was challenging work as misunderstandings frequently arose. The Vrexians were confused by human social hierarchies, which seemed fluid and situational compared to their rigid structure, while humans struggled to grasp Vrexian honor concepts that governed every aspect of their society. One particular point of tension was military cooperation. The Vrexians, as Xerax had warned, were primarily interested in human adaptability as a martial asset, while Earth authorities were concerned about becoming pawns in Vrexian conflicts with other alien powers. Kate worked tirelessly to find common ground. Emphasizing scientific and cultural exchange over military alliance, she arranged demonstrations of human art, music, and literature for the Vrexians, while organizing presentations of Vrexian technology and philosophy for the humans. 2 months into the negotiations, a breakthrough came when Nexra witnessed a human dance performance. The Vrexian was mesmerized by the dancers' grace and strength. How do they move with such precision in light gravity? Nexra asked Kate afterward. It's not just physical ability, Kate explained, but dedicated practice. Humans can train their bodies to perform remarkably specific tasks with enough time and effort. This concept of specialized training fascinated the Vrexians, whose culture valued natural ability over developed skill. The conversation shifted from military applications to educational and training exchange programs. Kate suggested that Vrexian physical trainers could help humans develop greater strength, while human specialists could teach Vrexians techniques for precision and efficiency. This idea gained traction with both delegations. 6 months after Kate's return to Earth, a formal treaty was signed between humanity and the Vrexian Empire, establishing peaceful relations, scientific cooperation, and cultural exchange. Military alliance was mentioned only as a potential future consideration, pending further development of trust between the species. Kate was honored by both Earth and Vrexian authorities for her role in establishing first contact. She was promoted and appointed as Earth's first ambassador to the Vrexian Empire, a position that would require her to live on the Vrexian homeworld for extended periods before departing for her new assignment. Kate underwent additional physical conditioning to prepare for the Vrexian gravity. She also received extensive training in Vrexian language, cultural norms, and diplomatic protocols. The day of her departure arrived. Kate stood at the launch bay of the orbital station, looking at the Vrexian diplomatic vessel that would transport her to her new post Nexra. Now a friend as well. As colleague waited at the airlock, "Are you prepared for life among the Vrexians?" asked Director Walsh, who had come to see her off. "As prepared as anyone can be," Kate replied with a smile. Walsh handed her a small package, a gift from Earth leadership. A reminder of home. Kate opened it, finding a small holographic projector showing images of Earth landscapes, mountains, oceans, forests, and deserts. The diversity that had shaped human evolution and adaptability. "Thank you, Director. I'll keep it with me." As Kate boarded the Vrexian vessel, Nexra greeted her. "The Empress is eager to meet you, Ambassador Miller. Your reputation has spread throughout the Empire." Kate smiled. "I look forward to meeting her as well." The journey to the Vrexian homeworld took several weeks, during which Kate continued to adapt to heavier gravity and learn more about Vrexian culture. By the time they arrived, she could move comfortably in their standard gravity, though not with the same ease as the Vrexians themselves. The Vrexian capital was breathtaking. Massive crystalline structures rose into the sky, connected by elaborate bridges, the architecture designed to showcase strength and beauty. Simultaneously, the four armed Vrexians moved through their city with grace that belied their size. Kate was brought to the Imperial Palace, a towering structure at the city center, where Empress Zilara awaited her. The throne room was designed to intimidate visitors with high ceilings, dramatic lighting, and guards positioned throughout. Kate approached the throne and bowed respectfully. "Your Majesty, I bring greetings from Earth and gratitude for your acceptance of diplomatic relations." The Empress studied Kate with interest. "When Commander Zirax first reported your actions aboard our warship, I was skeptical. Now I see the truth in her assessment. Your species has potential beyond your physical limitations." Kate spent the next 3 years as ambassador, strengthening the alliance between humans and Vrexians, while other humans came to the Vrexian homeworld to study their technology and culture. Vrexians visited Earth, establishing the first permanent alien presence on the planet. The story of Kate Miller spread throughout Vrexian space, changing their perception of the small species from a distant planet and earning humans a reputation that would serve them well as they ventured further into the stars. Never again would the Vrexians or any other species make the mistake of judging humans by their size. Alone, Kate had proven that human adaptability, determination, and intelligence were forces to be respected in the galaxy. As Kate stood on the balcony of the Earth Embassy, watching the twin moons of the Vrexian homeworld rise, she reflected on how far she had come. From that moment aboard the damaged explorer facing an uncertain fate, sometimes the greatest strength lies in being underestimated. She thought a lesson the galaxy was still learning about humanity.